Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS, FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Sit tight because what I'm about to tell you could be a total game changer for the Falcons and the entire NFC South. Word around the league, coming from sources like Adam Schefter, whispers about a blockbuster trade are starting to surface. One that could reshape the division and set Atlanta on a new trajectory for a potential Super Bowl run. And trust me, this isn't just some rumor. It's a move that could define the Falcons' future. The buzz is that the Falcons are eyeing Pittsburgh Steelers star pass rusher T.J. Watt. Yes, Watt. The guy is a game wrecker, a true force on defense, and a player who can completely change the way Atlanta's defense operates. The Steelers, currently sitting at 7-6 and struggling with a tight cap situation, around $3.5 million, are reportedly looking to rebuild after a tough season, especially considering their defense has been allowing nearly 24 points per game. With their cap crunch and the need to extend some offensive linemen, a trade involving Watt could be on the table for the right offer. Now, the interesting part here is what the Falcons could potentially offer in return. Rumors suggest that Pittsburgh is looking for a first-round pick in the 2026 draft, along with a second-round pick in 2027. That's a serious haul, but considering Watt's elite production and impact, it's a trade that could be well worth it. For the Falcons, this move makes a ton of sense. They're currently at 4-9, and their secondary has taken a hit with A.J. Terrell missing time due to a calf injury back in November. He's been on IR, missing 6 games, and their pass coverage has slipped, dropping to a PFF grade of 78.4, which is a significant decrease from earlier in the season. Adding Watt would not only bolster their pass rush, but also inject much-needed energy and leadership into a defense that's been struggling to generate consistent pressure. T.J. Watt, when fully healthy and in form, is a nightmare for offenses. This season, he's exploded with some eye-popping stats: over 22 solo tackles, 31 assisted tackles, 53 combined, and an impressive 7 sacks in just 13 games. Plus, he's been creating chaos with 41 quarterback pressures, a PFF pass rush grade of 93.6, and an overall grade of 92.8. His win rate is around 32%, which might not sound enormous, but when you watch him play, it's obvious he's constantly in the backfield, forcing quarterbacks into uncomfortable throws and disrupting offensive rhythm. His ability to generate sacks, averaging about 0.54 sacks per game over his career, makes him one of the most feared edge rushers in the league, comparable to his brother J.J. Watt in terms of impact, but with even more consistent production. The reason for this potential trade is clear. The Steelers, sitting at 7-6 with a defense allowing nearly 24 points per game, are in a tough spot financially. They need to free up cap space, about $20 million or more, to extend key offensive linemen, especially considering the injury concerns with players like Fields, who missed 2 games with a knee injury. Pittsburgh's focus right now is on rebuilding their roster, prioritizing youth and draft capital rather than trying to hold onto aging veterans. Trading Watt for draft picks fits that plan perfectly, especially since they're facing a cap crunch heading into 2026. Now, what does this mean for the Falcons? Well, adding Watt to the mix would be a massive upgrade for their defense, which has already been playing at a high level but could take a huge leap forward with a player of Watt's caliber. The projections show that Watt would boost Atlanta's pressure rate by over 30%, adding roughly 12 more sacks to their total, which would be a massive boost in their pass rush. This, in turn, would reduce opposing offensive yards from around 330 yards per game to closer to 280. That's a significant difference, especially in the NFC South, where divisional matchups are often decided by small margins. The Falcons' defense, currently ranked around 20th in the league, would see a major transformation with Watt's arrival. He'd complement Judon, who's already been a bright spot with 6.5 sacks and a PFF grade of 82.1. With Watt's ability to generate consistent pressure, Atlanta could force more turnovers, projected at around 14 more, and challenge offenses even more effectively. His presence would help elevate the pass defense, which is currently giving up around 25 points per game, to a more respectable level at approximately 20 points per game. Opposing quarterbacks would be under more pressure, forcing hurried throws, turnovers, and mistakes. And let's talk about the secondary. Particularly A.J. Terrell's absence has left a gap. Watt's addition would help stabilize the unit, especially since PFF grades show their secondary has been struggling from a grade of 72. 3 to over 80 with Watt in the fold. Even with Terrell injured, the Falcons could present a more aggressive front, making life much harder for opponents in the NFC South. This move would be a strategic shift, turning their defense into a more aggressive, chaos-creating unit that can strike fear into any QB trying to pick them apart. Now, how does all this impact the Falcons' chances for the postseason and beyond? Well, if the trade goes through, the Falcons could see their odds of making a deep playoff run significantly improve. Currently listed at plus 15-0 to win the Super Bowl, those odds could plummet to around plus 5-0 with Watt in the mix, especially considering his ability to neutralize mobile quarterbacks and generate sacks in crucial moments. His presence would also boost their red zone efficiency, increasing their win probability in close games by about 25%. That's huge for a team that's been on the border of playoff contention and needs that extra edge to push over the top. In the bigger picture, this move would send shockwaves through the league. Watt's reputation as one of the most dominant pass rushers of his generation, combined with his relatively injury-free season, missing no games in 2025, makes him a prime target for teams looking to contend now. His average of 0.54 sacks per game, along with his ability to perform in clutch moments, positions him as a true difference maker on any roster. The Falcons, with their young core and a solid foundation on offense, would be getting a player who can elevate the entire team's performance, especially on defense. In essence, this trade isn't just about adding a star pass rusher. It's about transforming the Falcons into a legitimate contender, turning their defense into a nightmare for offenses in the NFC South and beyond. The boost in sacks, pressure, turnovers, and overall defensive efficiency could be just what they need to finally break through and make a real push for the Super Bowl. It's a bold move, yes, but one that could pay off in a big way, especially if Watt continues to perform at his current high level. And for the Falcons fans, this is the kind of move that gets the blood pumping. Imagine Watt lining up on the edge, relentless and unstoppable, creating chaos every time he's on the field. It's the kind of addition that could make your team a true force, a team that no longer just hopes for luck but dominates with talent and tenacity. If this trade happens, it could be the start of something special, an era where the Falcons not only compete but thrive and challenge for the NFC South crown and ultimately the Lombardi Trophy. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, if the Falcons manage to pull off this trade, the impact on their division and their playoff chances will be enormous. It would send a message to the entire league that Atlanta is serious about competing now, not just planning for the future. The NFC South would become even more competitive, and the Falcons would be in a prime position to make noise in January and beyond. The combination of their offensive weapons, led by Desmond Ridder, and a revamped defense powered by Watt, could make them a dark horse contender. They'd have the pass rush, the secondary, and the mental toughness to take on anyone. This potential move also raises questions about the Falcons' draft strategy moving forward. Will they be willing to give up future picks for a proven star? Or will they try to balance their roster with young talent and strategic acquisitions like Watt? Either way, it's a bold statement. The Falcons are signaling that they want to win now, and adding a player of Watt's caliber would be a big step toward that goal. And let's not forget the broader implications. The Watt brothers' legacy is already cemented in NFL history, and having both of them on the same team, whether temporarily through this trade or in future scenarios, would be something special. Watt's impact on the Falcons could be comparable to what Garrett Brown's odds drop suggested in 2025, an indicator of how much of a difference a true game wrecker can make. Finally, folks, if this trade goes through, it will be one of the most exciting and transformative moves in recent Falcons history. It would ignite the fan base, energize the team, and send a clear message to the NFC South and the entire league. Atlanta is serious about competing at the highest level, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. So keep your eyes peeled, because this could be the start of a new chapter, one where the Falcons rise from the ashes and soar towards Super Bowl glory. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to US and TO, the Atlanta Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news.